On July 31, 2026, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence issued preliminary guidance, establishing a formal process for current and former personnel to disclose UAP-related information to designated government representatives, notwithstanding prior non-disclosure agreements, oaths, or commitments. On its face, that language is remarkable. For 3 years, the single most repeated obstacle in this field has been the claim that people cannot legally talk. This guidance appears to remove that obstacle, but read it carefully, and the document does something considerably narrower. It does not authorize public disclosure of classified information. It does not create a new channel to Congress, and it describes itself as preliminary. Context matters here. In June 2023, former National Reconnaissance Office and National Geospatial Intelligence Agency officer David Grush told journalists Leslie Kean and Ralph Blumenthal that the United States operates a crash retrieval program. On July 26, 2023, before the House Oversight Committee, he repeatedly declined to answer in open session, citing classification. That pattern repeated in November 2024 and again in September 2025. Witnesses gesture at what they cannot say. Legislators express frustration. Nothing moves. The Schumer-Rounds UAP Disclosure Act, which would have created a presumption of disclosure and an independent review board, was cut down in the FY 2024 NDAA and failed again as an amendment the following year. So what does the July 31 guidance do? By its own framing, it creates a process. A current or former employee, contractor, or service member who believes they hold UAP-related information may bring it to a designated government representative. The guidance reportedly names the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office and an entity referred to as Pursue. Prior secrecy obligations, the guidance states, do not bar that conversation. That is not nothing. It converts an implied permission into a written one, and it gives an individual a document to point to if they are later challenged by a security officer or agency counsel. Now the limits, which are the more important half. The guidance does not authorize public disclosure of classified information. Classification law is untouched. Executive Order 13526, the Espionage Act, agency regulation. Second, it does not create disclosures to Congress outside existing channels. That matters enormously. Under Title 50, Section 3033K, 5, an intelligence community employee with an urgent concern routes it through the Inspector General, then the Director of National Intelligence, then the intelligence committees. That statutory path remains the only path. The guidance layers an additional executive branch destination on top. It does not widen the legislative one. Which brings us to the Hinge word, designated. Everything depends on who holds that designation and who decides. If the list is RO, Pursue, Agency Counsel, and Inspectors General, then this is an internal routing instruction with a press-friendly preamble. If it extends to cleared congressional staff or to the security officers of the intelligence committees, it is something structurally larger. As of this recording, no public roster of designated representatives has been released, and Pursue has no widely confirmed public charter. That absence is not evidence of bad faith. It is, however, the entire difference between a mechanism and a memo. None of this is written on blank paper. Section 1673 of the FY 2023 National Defense Authorization Act directed the establishment of a secure reporting mechanism and, in substance, provided that pre-existing non-disclosure obligations would not prevent reporting UAP information to it, with protection against reprisal. RO's Secure Reporting Portal opened October 31, 2023. Separately, the anti-gag provisions codified at 5 U.S.C. 2302b, 13, Presidential Policy Directive 19, and Title 10, Section 1034 for service members already establish that a non-disclosure agreement cannot lawfully override a protected disclosure. So the 2026 guidance is less a new right than a restatement, and restatements are typically issued because the underlying right was being ignored.